So I'm going to delete this particle system by right-clicking on it in the hierarchy and hitting delete. Okay. Now I'm going to click on Game Object, Create Empty, and I'm going to name it Line, and hit Enter. Now I'm going to go into Component, Miscellaneous, and select Line Renderer. And that's going to add a Line Renderer component to this game object. The Line Renderer component has the properties of cast and receive shadows, which is a pro-only feature that decides whether or not this line is going to receive shadows from objects around it or cast shadows onto objects around it. Materials is the materials defines the appearance of this line that you're about to create. So I'm going to click on this little drop down menu here and find Fire Smoke, and then select that. Now positions determine the points of the line. So right now the size is 2 and it has 2 points, a beginning and an end. So if you go to your scene view, and you can set the global X, Y, and Z coordinates of each of these points. So I'm going to have it right now, this sphere back here has a position of 97, 26, 168. So I'm going to make this line start at 27, 97, 26, 168. 97, 26, 168, and hit enter. So the first line is right here. You can see there's a line starting here, and the second line, which is currently over in this corner, is going to be just some arbitrary point over here. So it's going to be 97, 15, 180. So it's going into the ground right now. Maybe I'll make the second Y element higher, like 50. Okay, there we go. So now it's starting in the sphere and it's just shooting up into the sky. So this is element 0 right here, and this is element 1. If you want to add another point to the line, you can change the size of this from 2 to 3. And in the third element, or element 2, you can change these. So I will make the third point out here somewhere. Now if you rotate around it in the world, you can see that it's a 3-dimensional object. These points exist in 3D space. So you can use this as a laser in the environment, or just any kind of ray that's represented in 3D space. Parameters here, you can set the start width of the line, which is element 0. So you can make it start really wide. And you can make it end with the end width really small at a point. You can end at 0. And it'll taper over time. Or you can make it end even bigger, start even smaller. You can also change the beginning and start color. So you can tint it a little bit red at the beginning and tint it a little bit blue at the end. It'll change between that over time. If you change the tint color of the material here, that'll affect the appearance of the whole line. Like so. I'm going to leave it at white though. Use world space means that these positions right here are world coordinates and are not the position of the line game object has no relevance with these. So no matter where this game object is in the scene, I can use the transform tool, move it up and down and left and right, and the lines are still at the same position. But if I uncheck it, then these coordinates are relative to the game object. So they're way off in the distance, and if I move this up and down and left and right, the the lines move with it. So I'm going to leave that checked. Now, one thing that's cool is when you start doing interactivity scripting later, you can actually set these 3 points dynamically. So if something was moving around, you could have these points coincide with moving objects or even objects that the player controls. But that's another lesson for another day. Next, we're going to talk about trail renderers.